Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, from live in Washington, D.C. The last time that we'll be live from Washington, D.C. for the 2024 NCAA ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
That voice you just heard, Dennis Cox, he's here with me. Graham Hill keeping us up and running back in the studio. And where to start aside from this? NC State is still playing. Later today, when the games get started, right over there, just a couple steps from where we're sitting, NC State is still alive for an ACC championship game, despite starting their run on Tuesday. They beat Duke last night. Duke was one and done. Duke showed up, lost, left. That was the entirety of their ACC tournament. NC State is putting their season together, I would say, at the buzzer. Mm-hmm. And they have two more games to prove that it wasn't too late, right? That's what it feels like to me. They're a team that's making a comeback, but are they going to run out of time or not? Because if they lose a game like tonight against UVA, which is every bit possible, if they lose a game like on Saturday against the winner of Pitt UNC, which is every bit possible, that's not to say that they didn't create something special here in DC. That's not to say that they didn't figure some stuff out here in DC. It's just to say that they didn't figure it out in time. Now, NC State played Duke not long ago. Duke won that game. So going into last night, that's how many thought it might go again. And obviously it didn't. Here's DJ Burns, the big guy in the middle, with the biggest difference between playing Duke last time and last night.
We got stops when we needed them. We tightened up on defense and made sure that they didn't get the opportunities that they were trying to get. And we made them go with every alternative plan towards the end.
The vibe in the post-game locker room, and Dennis and I went into both post-game locker rooms, and needless to say, the vibes were different.
Yeah, very much so. One locker room did not open up for a while.
It was actually very convenient for the media because the State locker room, they got their celebrations in, let the media in. They were willing to answer every question, and when we were able to do all of our duties there, and then we left and we went to the Duke locker room and they still hadn't even opened up yet. So they had a longer conversation amongst themselves. But the thing I thought that was interesting was in the State locker room, there was quite a bit of talk about they try to bully us and we're the bullies. And it was actually kind of a theme in a lot of the winning locker rooms over this week where it's, hey, we don't get bullied, we're the bullies. We don't get bullied, we're the bullies. We're the more physical team. We're the more tough team. And State definitely looked at that as one of the reasons why they were able to beat Duke. Here's Jaden Taylor, one of the underrated stars of the tournament thus far for NC State, on what sparked this current run for the Wolfpack.
I mean, kind of like just what I said, like in the conference season, we felt like we let a lot of games get away from us, like a lot of close games, a lot of games we felt like we should have won. A lot of teams that beat us that we felt we were better than. So it's not like anything new. It's just like now we know, like, if we lose, we're going home. And we're probably not going to get in the tournament. So it's like to get in the tournament, like, we got to win. So it's like now we're forced. Like, we got to do what we got to do. We got to limit mistakes and be locked in.
I love the way State is handling that.
Yeah.
Because there's two ways to handle it, right? One, it makes you tense, it makes you tight, it makes you think every missed jumper might be the jumper that costs your team their season. And the other is how they're handling it, which is with a smile. They're having a good time. They're very much like, hey, we get to do this. We get to try to do something cool rather than we have to do this or else our world is crumbling. They were more comfortable last night, which I found fascinating. Duke, with all their NBA talent, with all their hype, they looked like the team that was pressing. Meanwhile, State looked comfortable. They were tougher. They were more precise. I will say until the end when it got sloppy, but by that point they were just holding on for dear life, trying to walk out of there with one more point.
Yeah.
But did get sloppy in Tech for hanging on the rim, and Ben Middlebrooks will remember that one for a while, but no harm, no foul. I look at two guys, though. I look at Casey Morsell and I look at DJ Horn. I felt like they were very much in tune with the room. They were very much in tune with when a big play needed to be made, they tried to make it. Casey Morsell had two of his best dunks of the season in that game against Duke. And I don't think that's an accident. I think he felt a little bit of, hey, we need something to get us going again. Let me see what I can do. And if I'm, the fifth-year grad senior that normally shoots the ball a ton, and if I run up here and two-handed yammer jammer on somebody, then that's going to bring a certain amount of energy. And he did it twice. DJ Horn sensed when a play needed to be made, and he made it, and that's dealing with the injury, coming off the bench. He was the first spark that they had, and that enabled Mo Diarra to get every rebound, right? So to want the ball on every rebound more than anyone on Duke did. Everyone had the energy. It allowed Jaden Taylor to go. We all know that DJ Burns needs to draw on his energy reserves from wherever he can find them. And there were some big plays made by others. And then you turn around and DJ Burns is pumping up the crowd with like the come get some hands. And it was all built around, I believe, Casey Morsell and DJ Horn being the Johnny on the spot as far as making the plays. Last thing I'm going to say is this, and you hope it's true. These players must really like Kevin Keatts, because they might be saving his job. With every game, it's getting more and more difficult to move on from the head coach. Here's Kevin Keatts' postgame on how proud he is of his team.
I'm proud of these guys. I mean, we're fighting, and that's a good thing about it. And, we talked about coming to this tournament and really not looking ahead. Like I just told them, I have no idea who's next, but we wanted to concentrate on just our next opponent. And I will say, since we got here on Monday, these guys have been very professional, locked into everything we needed to do. And we've got 3 really good wins right now. So once again, I know you guys love this. If you're a part of Wolfpack Nation, we survive and advance.
Well, he is right. He knows how to get Wolfpack Nation survive in advance.
Oh, for sure.
Something that everybody likes to say.
And his players know. We played the Jaden Taylor clip just a little bit ago. They understand what's at stake too. Jaden Taylor was saying, we know if we don't win this thing, we're not going to the NCAA tournament. We know what's at stake. And the fact that they understand that and are still playing the way they're playing, kudos to them, man. I honestly, I did not think they would make it this far. And if I remember correctly, the first Tuesday ACC team to be playing on Friday.
That was one of the things being talked about in the post-game locker room.
Yeah.
I will say that it wouldn't be the first thing that was maybe not 100% true that was being shouted in a post-game locker room for NC State.
Yeah.
Remember, they're the team that was going two more when they had 3 more games they needed to win.
Yeah.
But who are we to correct them? Even if they're the second team to go from a Tuesday to a Friday, let them believe they're the first.
Or maybe it's 2 more to get to Saturday.
Yeah, 2 more just to be in the championship.
To get to Saturday. If you're in the game, get a shot to win. That's all that matters.
It's really hard to move on from a coach when the program is, I would say, as healthy as it seems.
Yeah.
Where this was not a good season. It was a tough season during the regular season. There has been absolutely no checking out. There has been absolutely no mailing it in. There has been nothing but, all right, there's one way we make the tournament. We got to win the ACC tournament. That's the sole focus of everybody. There's no, hey, maybe a senior wants to go play pro and knows if I get one more 35-point game. Like there's been none of that. It's been all team first, we over me stuff, and it shows in the way they're playing.
And during the regular season, games like that, they would have lost that game yesterday.
Yes.
Tight game. They would have lost that in the regular season because we saw them do it a lot. Like they were in games. You've brought it up many times. How they've been in games but just couldn't close out and get the win. But they've been doing it here in this tournament. Props to them. They're getting it done.
They were the tougher team.
Oh, 100%.
They were the tougher team, which there are two sides to every coin. If they were the tougher team, that means Duke was the softer team, right? What's the opposite of tough? Soft, right? That means they were the softer team, which is the problem.